a lot of Cowboy fans too, but I mean, you live among many, I'm sure. That sound effect. Yeah. We're like, and I understand too, like there are friends that they just refuse to go to Vegas, and I totally get that. I don't want to tell anybody how to fan. Like there's still grief there. How do you feel about it? Like, because you go to the games too. I mean, beautiful stadium. Yeah. We belong there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It does. Yeah. You sound great to me. Oh, weird. I'm echoing. It looks great to me. I mean, right. I can try to adjust my. This sounds better. Oh, good. I'm just adjusting the thing on the Yeti mic. I should know better what everything is, but yeah, that's so. Let's see. So okay, there's still. Oh, no. Yeah, it seems fine to me. Test. We're gonna speak entirely in emojis.
I see. I see what's happening. I see what's happening now. Yep. Hold on. Let's do this. Yes. I see what's happening. Finally. Yeah, at least you guys can hear me now, right? You can hear me? And
I can hear.
I'm echoing. That's because of how we hold on. I got one other thing to fix here. This turn that off. Now it should be good. Yep.
All right.
Are we good now? Can you hear her?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. It should be. Everybody can hear now? That's what my grandma used to say. Yeah, this is hilarious. At least y'all can see, and at least we're gonna get some content out of this. I think everybody can
That's
hear, right? There's an echo, but you can at least hear it, right? All right, let me try this. You can still hear, right?
I can hear.
Yep, we can all hear. So let's see. Chris said, "No, not good. Can't hear anymore."
Not good.
There is an echo. Yep, there's still an echo. Where is that echo coming from? Let me see. Let me try one more thing. Let's see here. One more issue. Is that the echo? Did we kill the echo?
I think.
There you go. Now we're good. You can't hear me now, though, right?
I think it got muted.
It got muted for you. But they can hear me now. Yeah, but as soon as I do this, they're probably not going to be able to hear me. They can hear you probably now. It's saying don't touch nothing, Turf. No. You talk. Yeah. Can everybody hear Jemma? We're good now? Can everybody hear Jemma?
Test.
All right, finally. We good? We can get back to business? We can get back to business now? All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Shield Squad, all that. I don't know why it did that because this was all set up. Everything was good.
Everybody needed to refill their drinks.
I know, right? Exactly. So we're good. But we're going to go right back into it. We're going to start right off on what are your thoughts about camp so far? Obviously leading up. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball because I know that's where a lot of people want to hear some things. Tell me what's your thoughts. Start wherever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I feel like we don't quite get access to the media that I don't hate me for this. I went to the Rams training camp to scout,
right?
To
Absolutely.
Make sure Jimmy G was not doing well. And there's media, there's news everywhere, and because of these rules, it's been interesting asking people that went to camp, what do you see versus what the media is telling us? The media is telling us they haven't made a decision at quarterback, and people that have been going to camp have been saying clearly AOC has been playing better.
Okay.
So it's a little hard to know. I mean, I think AOC did really well last year in camp, and he's a 4th round draft pick quarterback.
Absolutely. Right.
So it's hard. I'm excited to see them play like in game situation. I think, and I also think like that might not even tell the whole story, and we might see a switch in the season.
Yes.
I think, and I also think from what I've been hearing too, like I know people were concerned about the offensive line toward the end of the season, but I think they actually look pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good spot. I also think if we don't get Devontae Adams the ball, he may set the whole place on fire. So I think we need to do that.
So what are what are your thoughts on Mr. Colton Miller?
I think Miller performs like what I think he does his job.
Right.
I don't. An offensive lineman is like it's not a glorious job. But if you don't, it's sort of like, I think of it like when you're a stage manager for a play and you do like the lighting. If the lighting's terrible, everybody notices. But if they do their job, it's actually like no one really, like people are going to focus on the quarterback play and whether the receivers make the plays and they catch the ball and they run, how many yards the running backs get. But I think Colton Miller is a fine player.
Yeah.
And I think he can lead, which is what we need.
Well, so my little pushback on this is it just pains me because we had another player that literally sat on the sideline for quite some time. And you and I both know, because we both had to watch this player pace back and forth, like it was no care in the world, and start releasing albums after terrible losses. And it wore me out. It wore me out. Colton Miller has always been solid, right? And that I can't deny. The numbers, all that stuff speaks for itself. But this guy has been hurt a lot. And here we are starting out the season, and he's not in camp. He's not on that line. And a lot of people want to wonder why the running game didn't work so well. Right when Josh held out, again, it's not just the offensive line, it's the running back, it's even wide receivers, depending on the type of plays that are being run. If you got guards and tackles pulling on screens, right? All of that stuff takes time to gel. And you can't do that being on the sideline. So that's the only problem I have right now.
That's fair, yeah.
And I'm just hoping that it's just one hiccup, right? And it's not one of these scenarios of where let's try to get rid of him now, while he's worth something, and and deal with what we got, because like you said, we are starting to look pretty good on the offensive line, right?
Yeah, solid. We do. I mean, it does seem like in a Luke Getsy offense, like we're gonna need people to be healthy and willing to take some hits. That's and too, if AOC, even if Minshew's the quarterback, I mean, neither of them are. Minshew's mobile, but like AOC, and I think AOC's improved, but he's a little flat-footed.
Yeah, they're gonna laugh at us for that one, because trust me, you're an AOC fan too, right? I mean,
I
love the
hate the guy.
So for me, it's just after being thrown to the wolves, knowing he had no preparation.
Yeah.
He didn't get
on
any
a
reps
terribly
in camp, right? He didn't get any reps in camp. He didn't get any much reps in preseason, and I mean, he didn't play any games until week 7 when they threw him in with the Chargers.
Literally threw him, and plus like the dysfunctionality. No one was prepared the way they should have been. It was just like. It was like a dysfunctional family at Thanksgiving, like throwing thing. It was just, So, and I think AP kind of his mentality seems to be sort of like, I'm gonna throw you out there and like figure it out and play hard and.
Yep.
that, we'll see if it works.
What's your thoughts on him kind of going old school right? They put on the pads, gonna be a bloodbath in the trenches. Like, what does that make you think the team's gonna look like come the season starts?
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Howie Long and just
the old school days.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm excited about it. I mean, I really, really hope that they do well. I think they're really ready to play for him. That gets you somewhere. I don't know that gets you to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, but it definitely is going to get us farther than where we were. So yeah, I mean, I think Antonio Pierce, like I was thinking about this the other day. He may be the most Raiders culture coach of all time, like if that's possible. I mean, and that's nothing against like John Madden or Al Davis or Tom Flores, but like he cares about the identity of the team and wants to fit into that culture, and he wants the players and the fans to like get behind that.
Right.
So I think like, and he knows his history. I mean, he knows what works for the Raiders.
Absolutely. First and foremost, before we go a little further, I do have to do what I always do. There are still some things I'm working out. First off, my guy, Chris, protect the shield. Appreciate that, man. As you can see,
love Chris.
We're starting to get things rolling here. But I do like to give shout outs to the chat, because without the chat, right, it's not much to do. Chat lives matter, ladies and gentlemen. Chat lives matter. So, hey, my guy D Menace is in the building.
Salute D Menace,
right? Salute everybody. We got my guy Tone Chef in the building. Salute Turf. Salute Dr.
All right.
Raider Nation. I love it. We got our guy Ray Love is in the building.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. Salute. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. And Paul, if I could, man, if I learn how to scroll back up in this thing, I will give you that shout out too. But shout out to my guy Paul. Man.
Shout out, Paul.
He actually helped us out. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, sir. Chat lives absolutely matter. So, what games are you going to?
Yeah, I mean, so far, all the home games we are planning to go to. Got a good front row seat, courtesy of my fiance. So.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, how can I say no? But as far as away games, like we're still kind of deciding. But I think Denver's always like. We kind of always go to Denver.
Yeah. It's an easy one to go to. We know we're gonna win. It's worth it,
Yeah. I think we should win this year. I think that's a game. We should sweep the Broncos and make it 9 years in a row. So.
Absolutely. I mean, completely just mollywop them. Absolutely. I don't see that being any different. Yeah. I'm going to that Kansas City game. I'm going to the Kansas City game, and I'm going to the opener, the Chargers.
All right, good stuff.
So how guys? Yeah, TRS, the Raider Syndicate. They are all going.
Oh yeah,
we are all going. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a wild weekend for sure.
LA is Raider Town.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. It's
so have you been to Kansas City before? I have not been to Kansas City.
And I had the most amazing, terrible time ever. So
that sounds right.
Yeah, because I'm gonna let you know they do not sell their tickets. They just don't. All the club and stuff. I kid you not. Wasn't a Raider 50 seats away from me. Front, back, side, not a I literally was the only Raider. Because I got lucky, I got my ticket early, smack dab. Whoever sold it might not even be living right now because they sold it to me. And that's basically what I took from going to that game. There was a time before I had went and I didn't sit there. I sat up front, you know, and we lost. This time I called myself being bougie, you know, and get a club seat. And it was like 30-0 at halftime or something crazy. Yeah, I just went back, to the club area. Yeah, and I'll be honest, they bought me beers and drinks for the whole second half. I didn't go back into the stadium. It was that bad. It was, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was all by myself anyway, so it's not like I was going to sit and talk to them. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, that feels not pleasant, but yeah.
It's like even the fans are it's just like they know. They're used to winning. They know how to act. It's so wild. They get loud, and I mean that stadium. I mean your chest is rumbling. It gets that loud. But on the flip side, they also are just chill, legs crossed, and they could be losing, but it's like Patty's gonna get us home. Like it's so crazy.
God,
it's a hard place to go to. I am so pissed. I missed Christmas. Right? Oh, I wanted to go to that game. I knew we were going to do something. But
I know, right? You have this feeling. You're like, what? What's happening?
Yep.
I think that we're responsible for the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl again.
Oh, 100%. You are smack dab spot on. If we didn't give them the kick in the ass they needed to get things together, there's no way they would have won. There was no way they would have beaten the Ravens. They wouldn't have gotten past the Ravens. And that's our fault. I know, right? In a good way. But in a bad way because they won a chip in our stadium. That hurt.
That was tough. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, so I worked the Super Bowl. I worked that Super Bowl, and
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta be honest. I was just sick the whole time. It was just terrible.
All that red. Yeah.
All the red. It was
nasty.
It was absolutely crazy. I don't know. That can't happen again. We can't have another Super Bowl with those teams in it. It was tough. That was tough to swallow. I mean, I think that is what's going to propel us, right? That's going to be what propels us to move forward, and I mean move forward in a special way. I think we're going to sweep the Chiefs this season. I think we're going to sweep them.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm ready.
I think we're in their head now, if you think about it. That, the whole infamous Kermit thing that, everybody's pointing the fingers. I don't even want to revisit all of that. I just want to make sure we use that for the proper fuel, right?
Exactly.
I already said my piece about that. I don't mind stuff coming from the team to get that chip on their shoulder. I just don't need our fans putting the chip on anybody else's shoulder. According, you know what I mean? Like, let's keep it cool. Let's let the team tell us to do that stuff. Let's not do that stuff and put the team out there. But I think it's not going to matter. I don't think it matters. I think we're going to go out there and play ball.
I think there's something about Kansas City that we have some kind of synergy that it's almost like we feel like it's our kryptonite, so we also kind of have nothing to lose.
Right.
Like, I don't know
what,
but I think that we, for whatever reason, I feel like if we win against the Chiefs, if it's one game, it's going to be in Kansas City.
Right.
I'm with you. I hope we sweep them. Like, let's do it.
and that's the other thing. I don't know how our stadium is gonna look this year. Are we gonna get our fans in there? Like, are we gonna have to deal with that Chicago game? If you remember, that was torturous.
Oh God, that was so.
Everybody I knew in Vegas was like, "You okay, man? I see nothing but Chicago people out on this trip." I'd never seen the stadium like that.
The Steelers is really bad too.
Worse.
Like, I hate.
That one was worse.
I hate the Steelers.
Yeah. That one was even worse.
Yeah, but some of those, some of it is like some of it is the vacation destination thing. but I also like some of it is excuses
Right.
because even I get that the tickets are the most expensive in the NFL.
They are.
But,
They
but
definitely are.
and I don't want to tell anybody how to spend their money. Like
Right.
it's expensive.
Absolutely.
I do think like there are ways to if we start winning, people will show up.
Absolutely.
I think.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
and even if we're mediocre, to be honest, they're gonna show up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
That stadium is gonna make money. It's an entertainment thing. I mean, we have no idea who's gonna be the halftime show. That might be worth the price in itself. Right?
Definitely.
Depending on
Oh,
who's
yeah.
there. I mean, I haven't been too disappointed yet. Right? I haven't been too disappointed.
No, this is like I mean,
yeah, I can't even.
There was like maybe, yeah. I'm like there might have been one where I was like, okay, this is my moment to like take a break from screaming, but yeah, not bad.
Yeah, nothing bad at all, which is good. I mean,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. What I love is they actually do know how to entertain. So I will give Allegiant Stadium that. Shout out to Allegiant. The people that work there, they take care of us, right? They really look out for us. They hook us up. It's the same people usually, all the time. I always take pictures. I treat them like family. Yeah, it's a blast.
Nice. Yeah.
Time. Yep. So what do you think our record is gonna be?
Yeah.
And don't worry,
Man,
I'm jumping all over the place, but for a good reason. I mean, hey, we got defense still to talk about. You know, we got a 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, we still got 20, 30 minutes. So
yeah.
What's your thoughts? Where do you think we're gonna land?
Man, there are days where I'm like, we're gonna win 15 games. And which it's like after you said we were gonna sweep the Chiefs, right? I'm like, yeah, let's sweep the Chargers.
Right. People think I'm crazy. I actually have both of those. I actually have us, and that's where I'm unrealistic. We're not going to sweep the division. Terrence, y'all boo me. We're not going to sweep the division. I have a hard time seeing us lose to the Chargers twice. I mean, once.
I know. Mm-hmm.
We know their background now. We know that Herbert won't be playing, and if he is, it's going to be to our benefit because he's not 100%.
Yeah.
And anybody behind him is not going to be better than him. He has no wide receivers to gel with now when it matters because all of them have been shipped out. And you got Mr. Harbaugh coming in, probably still thinking he's going to run this with an iron fist and tell these grown men not to wait. So I don't see how we lose that. I mean, we're just better than Denver. We're better than Denver.
We should beat Denver both times.
Exactly.
I would say that's like the most like we should. If we split with the Chargers and if we split with the Chiefs, I think that's a good season. Splitting two of your division rivals and defeating the other, like
correct.
That's not a bad.
That's
the Chiefs
the realistic. Yeah, that's the realistic one. I think. And I agree with you. I think if we do lose one to the Chiefs, it'll be the one at home. It'll probably be the perfect, storm, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, so realistically, like, I do think we're gonna win more than 6 games. Like, I think Vegas
everybody go put your money on that.
I think that's a good bet. Mm-hmm. I think when we did our the last time I actually looked at the schedule, I think I had us at 8-9 or 9-8. There's games I think that we should win, just given what we've seen so far. Right. And teams change, people get injured, people improve. And then I know being the Raiders and just having a new coach and a new offensive coordinator and a new quarterback in a sense, right. We're going to lose a game or two that we shouldn't lose.
Yep.
That's just, I think that happens. So
there will be mistakes.
Yeah. So I say I think 9-8 is a good number. Yeah.
9-8.
Sometimes you have to make certain mistakes to
That's, so like you, I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to stand on it. 12-5, ladies and gentlemen. 12-5. I'm going to stand on that.
Let's go.
And my reason being is I think that our defense, see, even now, I think that our defense is causing us so much problems during training camp. You know, it's like it's almost detrimental. We almost should have had to have, you know, training with other teams so that we can get a breather and actually work on some stuff, because our defense is crazy. Let's dive right into it.
They are.
The defense. What's your favorite part about the defense?
So I love, I mean, how can you not love the Max Crosby, Christian Wilkinson pair? Because now you can't necessarily double team Max or triple team Max, right? You can also, like, Wilkins, is, I get so excited about him that I like
we all do, Justin. We all do.
I know the concern about him was like his third down conversion, like percentage or whatever. I think I'm just excited to I'm excited for our defense to confuse offenses.
Right.
And then for our offense to actually get some time off the field to like set themselves and get a break and then actually do their thing. Cause that has been an issue. I never wanted to blame the defense for everything. Right. I think that's not fair.
Yep.
But I do think like you run into this problem where like if your defense just is off the field, if your offense doesn't get a break, they're just like, it's a mess.
Yes. No,
right?
100%. And it works both ways, right? You really don't want either of them out there for too long.
Right.
But definitely if somebody's going to be out there long, you want your offense out there longer. You want your offense eating up clock, beating their defense down, making their defense tired, and making that offense on the other side sit, get cold.
Right.
Get out there, get another 3 and out, make them do it again. And that's very disheartening to a team. If you can do that to a team.
And we know that very well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm also like, I know people have been talking about like, what do we do at cornerback, or like, what's the situation there? And I think in like at the end of the season, Jacorian Bennett was someone to watch. I think he's still someone to watch. I think because of the competition now at that position, and that's always been like not always, but that's currently a position where like iffy about. I think he has the potential to have a really breakout season, and I think he has to get some playing time. So
yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on our guy Tyree? I feel bad for the guy. He's going through these peaks and valleys, and what's your thoughts on him?
I think we drafted him so early because he seemed fast and big, which isn't always like a combination you get. He seemed slow in the beginning of the season. I believe in him. I think rookies don't always, like, when you're a first round draft pick, you are kind of expected to like get on the road really quick and like do your thing.
Exactly. You're supposed to hit the ground running.
Yeah, but some players just need a season or two, and I'm not ready to give up on him. I think, and I also think like mentorship from Max and even like Jack Jones, I think like saw he found himself. He
100%.
He's hungry. Like, so I think it sounded like from like camp reports that Tyree's working really hard and like AP's still, pushing him really hard. So
yep.
I hope that's what he needs.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, he was never treated properly to begin with. Due to the fact that
that's fair.
Jones, right? Jones lost his damn mind. That kid wasn't.
Why does that
supposed
happen
to
to
go.
us?
It's always us, right? Antonio Brown. Now this guy, like, we can't catch a break. It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, he wasn't supposed to touch the field, so I felt bad from that respect. But still, that's not the fans' fault. That's not. Hey, you were picked number 7. Blame Mr. Ziegler and Mr. Daniels for doing that nonsense. It didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt because we could have literally hit the ground running with somebody at that 7 spot and been better off. Because now he's building on year 2, and we're still hoping. We're just hoping.
Right.
And that's
It's
not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. But he's got a lot of talent around him. I see that thought. What were you about to say?
Well, how do you feel about, like, people have talked about him switching positions? Like, how do you feel about that line of thinking?
He's put on, what, another 30, 40 pounds?
So, dude is like, she's trying to match Zeke for the amount of weight.
Exactly. He is jacked. So I'm thinking in terms from that respect, like, be a tackle. I mean, you're with that ungodly wingspan and, being able to disrupt passing lanes. Yeah, all that good stuff as an interior lineman, defensive lineman. We could use that. And hopefully he can turn into that, because I'm not going to lie. I don't see him taking too much time from Kuntz. And he's definitely not taking much time from Max. So, and I mean, to be honest, even that defensive line, I mean, you still got Adam Butler. Shout out to Adam Butler. He's balling. I mean, he's being talked about. He's
ready.
He's
hungry.
Yeah, he doesn't pass the rundown test. So, and rundown is my young guy on the Raider Syndicate. He doesn't like them old. Every player has to be in their 20s, or he's over. And I get it.
The baseball way of thinking.
Exactly. Plus, he's young and hasn't seen anything, right? Rundown is in his early mid-20s. Like, he hasn't seen any good football from us. At least you got to see, Rich Gannon, and you got to see some kind of good football. Like, they don't.
2016,
They didn't get to see much. So I get it, but I don't know. I'm pulling for Tyree. I'm pulling for him. It just I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's going in the right. He'll be around the league for a while. I just don't know if it'll be with us and for how long. For that team, and if he bounces around, it just depends, because he's getting what he's needing as far as the investment. He's got Max. There's no better team to be at. No better players to learn from. So if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. Yeah.
Max is also like he's not gonna take a break. Like, he's a player that plays every if he's allowed and not injured. He's there. So maybe he'll take some pressure off of, but I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
Up in the air.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, maybe they do scheme, and Tyree is the one that is the beneficiary of the others, and that would be great too. We'll have to see. What's your thoughts on our linebackers? I'm gonna save those corners for last. I want to talk about the linebackers right now. What's your thoughts? I mean, obviously we love Spillane. Some people love Diablo. What's your thoughts on that one?
I didn't hate Diablo. I think Robert Spillane's kind of one of the last, like, the Patriot way kind of. Well, I guess Jack Jones too. Like, they're the I didn't hate Divine Diablo. I think he's a fine player. I think linebacker is a position we're slimmer on. So I hope the new guys are like working hard, and the guy we drafted this year. I'm excited to see him like in camp. Try to get a spot. Like
anything, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Don't have much to lose.
Look,
So.
Eichenberg. I think Tommy Eichenberg is absolutely going to put some pressure on our guy Spillane. I love you, Spillane.
Great.
We love you. That guy is great to the fans. Honestly, he sticks around. He signs stuff. He hangs out.
Oh yeah, he's nice
great.
guy.
But he's got a spot that people want. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is good,
Exactly. Good. And I hope he can keep it. I hope he can keep it for a long time. But I have a feeling that he's going to be challenged, for sure. And then obviously we move on to Mr. Converted, from safety to linebacker, Divine Diablo. And you hear the ups and downs. You clearly see the players love him. What do you think?
Yeah, he may have been one of the players that needed like a new system.
That is such a great point. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about the system or where he comes from. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what kind of defense he ran in college or what have you. Well, he's a safety. Yeah, like you said.
Right. Yeah, like it's changing positions sometimes is really like. It takes a game or two, but sometimes you're like, okay, this is the position you were meant to play, and sometimes like changing from center to the line, to another position, like that. Yeah, like that's done, and that can also be like totally detrimental. So it's I'm not sure, but and also again the dysfunction. I mean,
yes. Dysfunction.
I think a lot of people have potential that we will hopefully see more of, just because of like an actual regimented like defensive system.
Right.
Patrick Graham, I love. So.
Oh, he's a monster. He's a monster. Yeah. I keep bigging him up. I keep explaining to people why. In my opinion, he's just going to be a master defensive coordinator. His defenses are always legit. He's a bright guy. He's a Yale graduate. I mean, that speaks for itself. He's from Connecticut.
And people say the Raiders are not smart.
I know, right? Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Like, that's not our repertoire.
Just kidding. But yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yale.
I mean, and then that's the thing, though. That's the pair that makes it beautiful because he's got the monster, the grit in AP. That was that.
Oh yeah.
Linebacker that they mesh. I mean, it was no coincidence, in my opinion, the minute that Daniels got fired. It was like the reins were let go on the defense, and that thing just turned up overnight. And it was
they
were waiting to do that the whole season, and they just couldn't.
Oh, so satisfying. It was so sad. I mean, that Kansas City game, the Christmas game, that was one of the best defensive games. Like, just
all time for us.
It was almost like, what it felt like? It felt like we were getting back at them for when they did that ring around
the Rosie. Yes, that's exactly. It was exactly that. It felt absolutely like that. Yeah, it was good.
It felt really good.
It was.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I think we're in their head. I think it bothered them to where
you're so right. You're so right.
They have a problem, and they're gonna have this problem. And what's gonna happen is they're using this whole Kermit thing and all this other stuff in the media, and they think they're gonna come in and knock us out in the first game at home. Not our first game, but their first time playing us this season at our house, and I think they're going to be met with equal force.
I absolutely, and I think from watching, I tried to watch almost every Chiefs game and the division games last year too. Mm-hmm. The way it's really hard to do, but if you fluster Mahomes, because he knows, that's the most frustrating part about him. He knows that they can be down 21-0 and he's gonna win. But when he didn't know,
right?
And Jack Jones is partially responsible for that. When he's actually physically and mentally flustered, that's how you beat him.
Yep.
And they somehow did that.
They did, and I don't know if they'll even ever know how to do it again. To be honest, not in that exact specific way.
It's so hard to do.
Exactly. How do you fluster that guy? He's tough. He's absolutely tough. I mean, I give him his props. I give. Moses
You got to.
You absolutely.
I will say, though, I don't know. How do you feel about this? And not to talk about the Chiefs, but I think Isaiah Pacheco is so underrated as a player that won them games. I know it's Kelsey and Mahomes all day, but every time Pacheco got the ball, I was like, shh.
Yes, and it was a first down or too many yards, whatever.
Yeah, he really does his job. I just
I like the kid, and he runs angry. I love the person that runs angry. I can just appreciate that. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just the angry runner, and that's awesome. Nope. That makes sense to me.
The best way to describe him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would secretly I'd be like, yep, you can definitely come to the Raiders. I will.
All day.
We'll take you.
All day.
But as a Chiefs. Yeah, as a Chief, you.
Well, my guy Marcus is over here, and unfortunately, him and Al's issues caused him to go over there. Hurt my heart, but it is what it is. He'll always be around.
Oh man, that's quite a sore spot in Raiders. That's probably one of the worst parts of Raiders history, I would say.
It is, and. It's to this point, shout out to my guy Chris. I've learned some things in my older age.
I love Chris.
You just don't want to know.
Yeah.
You just don't want to know.
Yeah.
When somebody tells you don't want to know, just take the word for it. And I'm going to leave that Marcus Allen thing alone. I've actually had a few times that I've gotten to talk with him, chat with him. And I just couldn't ask that question. I mean, it's too personal. It'd be one thing if somebody else brought it up. But even still, I kind of just feel like I probably don't want to know.
Yeah.
I just don't want to know. It is what it is. Let that be between Mr. Marcus Allen and Mr. God bless his soul, rest the dead, Mr. Al Davis. You know what I mean? And leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Yeah, did you ever hear that story about Marcus Allen? I think it was Marcus Allen, and he had a rental car when he had to go to the. Was that?
Yes.
And he was going to the Super Bowl, and they wouldn't let him in, so he just ditched the car.
Ditched the car. Yep, that was Marcus Allen. That was absolutely Marcus Allen.
Those are the kind of stories I love because it's what?
I know, right? You got a rental car and you just ditch it for the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was wild.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah,
Marcus Allen is, he's the GOAT of our team in that respect.
Hero.
As far as the best run. You got Bo Jackson. Don't get it twisted. We all know. We understand.
Yeah.
If Bo had a, full lifetime season, right? Kind of like Barry. If Barry Sanders didn't retire early, we wouldn't be talking about any of these people.
That's right. Yeah.
But Marcus is definitely a special place for me.
At USC too.
Exactly.
He's
same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a USC hater. I'm from Connecticut.
That's good.
Yeah, I grew up in the East Coast, so Penn State was my favorite college growing up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they always kept a great running back, great backfield in general. So.
Oh yeah, the USC being in the Big Ten now, I'm like,
I
we're gonna
know.
see some gritty offenses.
That's
Like
gonna be
this is
wild. That's gonna be wild.
yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a
I'm
few
excited. I'm
games.
scared.
Yeah, so my daughter, she goes to University of Minnesota for gymnastics.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
scholarship, etc. Shout
Yeah.
out to my baby girl. She's home. But
Yeah.
I'm going to the
Congratulations.
first Minnesota game on the
Oh,
28th. They play
great.
North Carolina.
All right.
Yeah, and it's in Minnesota. So I'm super pumped for that. But like you said, the Big Ten. They're in the Big Ten. You know, I have ties from the Big Ten from my old offensive line coach, Jim Mihalacek.
Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Mihalacek.
Hey,
He's the
that's
offensive
cool.
line coach for Michigan State. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a
I'm
very
going to be
classic
seeing
Big
a
Ten
lot
team.
of, I got a buddy I used to work with, graduate from Penn State. He played in the league, drafted by the Colts, etc. He's got some sons coming up the ranks. They're coming up through the Big Ten. My quarterback, Tony Banks, that might ring a bell to you or not. He was drafted by the Rams in the 3rd round. He played at Michigan State, and his son is about to pick a college in the next year or two.
Okay.
And
Cool.
everyone's expecting and thinking it's going to be Michigan State. So the Big Ten is going to be fire. There's a lot of talent. There always has been, but I mean, with all the power shifting and so forth, I think you're going to see something different in the Big Ten.
I think the SEC is scared, hopefully.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, we'll see.
You got to beat them first. I'm not going to lie. You got to beat them first.
Oh, man. Every game is like the Super Bowl in college. It feels like it's just.
Yep. So we are at the top of the hour. We have one more group of people to talk about.
All right.
That is our cornerbacks.
Yeah.
My members,
another
TRS, we fight about this stuff all the time. When it comes
to I agree with you and Chris.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, that's what I agree with.
Well, me and Chris are at complete opposite ends. That's where the problem. He loves.
Oh, really? Okay.
He loves Jacorian Bennett. It's kind of 2-on-2. Okay. So Chris and Leo love Jacorian Bennett.
Leo, yeah.
Me and Rundown, we like, and
yeah.
It's a tough situation. What is your thoughts? Like, what do you think about him? You know, he was a rookie, started, and then got benched last year, midway through the season. You know, what are you thinking?
I am interested in him. I think he has a lot to prove. I agree with you. He has a lot to prove. But I'm also like really interested in if he takes the competition or the sort of like your job's on the line and he makes something of it, or he just doesn't.
Right.
So it's hard to say like I love him because I mean that's been a weak position for us. But yeah, I hope he's like a Tyree kind of. I'm hoping that he can do something.
Right. No, absolutely. Exactly.
I don't want to be like. Yeah.
And that's how we feel. See, everyone's pumping him up. I think that the guys are pumping him up because they know they need somebody on that corner, right? Whether it's these rookies.
Yeah, we do.
But they need somebody, and they don't want to kill his confidence or, they have to say these things.
Right.
That's how me and Rundown feel.
Yeah. And you would know better than most because you're beyond the inside.
So I don't know. Only time will tell. That's why I can't wait for at least this weekend to come when we play Minnesota. It's going to give us some insight.
Yeah.
It's going to give us a little bit more of an understanding, I think.
Is cornerback the position, or is that position the one you're most worried about on defense?
Yes.
Would you say?
Yes. For me, it is absolutely the most. Some people.
I think so too.
Some people think it's linebacker. They're nervous about Divine Diablo. He's another one like a Jacorian that they have to play well. They have to this year. Otherwise, they're definitely on the outside.
Yeah. But I think we've seen Diablo play well.
We have, and that's what's so disappointing.
Yeah, that's. But I think like I can't remember a game like I think Jacorian Bennett has more to prove as far as like playing well and like proving himself.
Absolutely.
To the team.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a little different, but.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah. I agree. That's the thorn in our side right now. Between that and then quarterbacks, I don't know. I think Leo likes AOC. I think he just tries to side with Chris a little to help Chris out because Chris is usually always, getting ganged up on by being run down. So, I think
Chris, are you a Minshew Mania follower?
Yeah, I like Minshew too. See, that's my problem.
I do too.
I love Minshew. I mean, he's a great locker room guy.
Yeah.
He's not, even though it's obvious competition, he's not somebody that's going to, kill the camaraderie. And, he's there to help bring the team together.
Right.
And he'll lose gracefully.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, he's not. I mean, he's not like a Mahomes or even like a Herbert, but I like his he's very much a Raider. He lives in a van, like culturally he's definitely a Raider.
He is.
But I mean, he also like is more consistent than a lot of quarterbacks. Like they know, like I really like Baker Mayfield. I don't know why.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's weird.
I actually, we all actually was okay with him coming on board. Actually.
Yeah, I think he but I think Minshew I think Minshew is even more consistent than Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield does the hero thing too much.
Yes.
But he is a good I think he's a good quarterback. And Minshew, I think, is like, let me get the job, let me get the first down, let me, he throws his interceptions, whatever. But
right,
solid quarterback.
Yep. Nope. I agree. I totally agree. Well, Miss Jemma Jebbia.
This went really fast.
I know, right? Hour goes by really fast, and it's actually like an hour and 15 minutes, I think, with my stupid technical difficulties. But that's all good. I hope you enjoyed it, and hey.
Oh, this was a blast! Thank you for having me on.
Have you back?
Yeah, we would love to have you too. We need to do
please. Absolutely. You anytime. I am ready. I love talking Raider football, all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's what we do. I love my brothers and bicker and argue and fight. It's the funnest thing to do. We all come together and love on each other at the end of the day. But we fight it out and it's fun. It's right.
Yeah.
And we all, the beautiful thing about it is at the end of the day, we all want the same thing.
That's right.
We all want the Raiders to win and we all want to hold up that chip. So it's good.
We're
Thank
close.
you
We're closer.
So much for showing
Thank you.
up. Let us know, where can the fans find you? Give us all of your social media. If you got shows, if you got things that you're doing, let us know where you're at.
Yeah. So at Baker_Raiderette is my Instagram. Gem the Baker on TikTok, and then my fiance and our third colleague, the GOAT, do a podcast on We Raider. So that's on YouTube.
That's right, We Raider. I knew it. I was like, why am I forgetting that? Yes.
It's a good, we're very chill. We kind of just we kind of gossip a little bit about the players, and then we talk football and we go in and out. So go on tangents. We talk about the game experience. So please. We'll, I'll make sure we have you on soon.
Let me know. Pencil me in. We will absolutely do it. Like I said, we'll figure out a good game to. Maybe what's even cooler. Maybe if we're all there that Monday after the game,
do it.
We'll do. We'll go into a live studio. And we'll
I think we can totally do that.
Professional live studio show. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
Show. That sounds
Let's do
fabulous. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We're going to pencil that in. That's going to be dope.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Appreciate you for coming. What a great show.
Oh, that was really fun. That went really fast.
Yes, right? Absolutely. So, that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. Turf is getting out of here. I'm running a little late. Had some technical difficulties. That's okay. We're going to work through this stuff because eventually I am absolutely determined and driven to bring you a professional produced show that is worth watching, that is worth your time, your effort, and your eyes. This is something that I plan on absolutely doing until the day that I die. I am going to be here till the day that I die, so whether you love it or hate it, get used to it. This turf is going nowhere.
Let's do it.
So,
love it.
With that being said, peace, Raider Nation. Turf is out. Have a good night.
I mean, I don't see how we can't be happy.
Decomposing your bug.
It's